America! Viva America! Viva Cabo Verde!
Cape Verdeans have developed unique cultural traditions in music, language, and folklore during the 500 years as a ecological balance and achieving self-sufficiency in food production. President Pereira addresses the 38th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations on behalf of the heads of state of the member countries of the Interstate Committee for Drought Control in the Sahel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, drought and desertification are today the principal causes of the evils afflicting large areas of our planet. More than 1/3 of arable land throughout the world is situated in parts of the world affected by drought. Insofar as concerns the African continent, the area of the arid and semi-arid zones and their expansion is alarming. At present, this area...
Born in 1922, President Pereira is an elder of Cape Verde's War for Independence. He has served as president since 1975 of the Young Republic of Cape Verde, which follows a strict policy of non-alignment. Although the smallest and one of the poorest African nations, the Republic of Cape Verde and President Pereira are emerging as major forces in African affairs regionally in the Sahel and internationally.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, in Cape Verde, we're proud of the fact that the international community, although our country is a small one and has been devastated by drought, judged us worthy of benefiting from significant assistance. It is thanks to this aid that drought, which has persisted since...
Today, Cape Verde receives human services and help. Concluding his address, President Pereira leaves the United Nations en route to New England, home of the largest population of Cape Verdeans outside the islands. President Pereira's first stop in New England is Massachusetts, home of the largest Cape Verdean population in America. The President and his delegation are greeted by the Consul General and leaders of Massachusetts Cape Verdean community. The Roxbury community in Boston, Massachusetts is America's fastest growing area for new immigration, drawing people from Cape Verde as well as communities in Europe and mainland Africa. Relaxed immigration laws in 1965 reopened America's door to Cape Verdeans. St. Patrick's Church is the center of the new immigrants' religious, community, and family life. Seeking economic opportunities like those at the beginning of the century, many filled the need for labor in small businesses, factories, and hospitals.
Oh, wait!
As the numbers continue to grow in Roxbury, identifiable Cape Verdean landmarks have already been established. At the state capitol, Governor Michael S. Dukakis welcomes President Pereira to the Commonwealth.
I just explained to the President that I speak some Greek, I speak some Spanish, I speak a little French, but my Portuguese is very limited, for which I apologize. As I think all of you know, we have a very large number of people who either come from the Cape Verde Islands or trace their origins to Cape Verde Islands, and they're good citizens of this state, and they have been an important part of our community for many years.
State Senator Royal Bowling introduces President Pereira to the Senate.
my colleagues, it's a pleasure to bring before you today the President of the Cape Verde Islands, a freedom fighter that was responsible for the liberation of his country, and I ask him to say a few words to this august body today.
Na verdade, trago comigo uma mensagem do povo de Cabo Verde.
I bring with me a message from the people of Cape Verde, and a message that reaches back into the American history. It is a message of the spirits uniting our two peoples.
Os nossos dois povos, espírito de autodeterminação,
A spirit of self-determination, of independence, and of hope for our futures.
President Pereira's next stop in New England is Rhode Island, the second largest Cape Verdean concentration in America. Immigrants stepping off the boat at the nearby waterfront in Providence at the beginning of the century lived in old wooden framed houses stretching along Wickenden and South Main Streets in the Fox Point section of the city. First the men came, working on the waterfront or in neighboring mill towns. They saved, sometimes for years before sending for wives and loved ones. Foreigners alone in a strange land, greenhorns as Cape Verdeans were called, preserved the language, music, feast days, and religious traditions of the islands. The growing community looked to each other in times of need. Disability and death benefits were paid to members of the Santontao Society, a fraternal organization founded in 1934. Many Cape Verdeans began and continue as stevedores. Formed in 1933, Local 1329 of the International Longshoremen's Association was a milestone in securing safety and benefits on the waterfront. Opposite the Fox Point community across Narragansett Bay is the Port of Providence and the shipyard. Longshoreman Antone Souza, born in 1912, still works here as one of the last links to 4 generations of Cape Verdeans on the waterfront.
When we started the Port of Providence years ago with the old Cape Verdeans, it was not considered a very good job, and it was a part-time working job. And that's how we started and got hold of Providence Port, the Cape Verdeans did. Because at that time, they couldn't get nobody else to work the Port of Providence but the Cape Verdeans. And now we are in the 3rd and 4th generation of Cape Verdeans, which they very fortunate. We're organized now. We have a wonderful union, good benefits, and they really made a good job out of it. Well, when I started, I was a young fellow around 16, 17, which that's about 55 years ago. And I'm the only one left from the old 2nd generation that's here, which I'm overdue on my retirement. One of these days I'll have to retire.
Around the world.
The Fox Point community of Cape Verdeans was gradually disbanded when urban renewal in the 1960s reclaimed the neighborhood. Structurally sound houses were restored, and Cape Verdeans moved out to suburbia, if possible, or to other parts of the city. One remaining landmark from this thriving community is the Faith Community Parish, the first Cape Verdean Protestant church in the country. Arriving at the state capitol, President Pereira is greeted by Governor Joseph Garrahy and leaders of the Cape Verdean community.
Very well respected.
American descendants of early Cape Verdean immigrants have entered many skilled and professional fields, including commerce, education, and government. They are an important link in securing development assistance for the young Republic of Cape Verde.
Muitos dos nossos irmãos emigraram para o vosso estado com pouco mais do que...
Many of our brothers and sisters emigrated to your state with little but their vision of the future and an independent determination to excel. They showed great courage and fortitude in leaving behind family and familiar surroundings to forge a thriving and prosperous community on your shores. We are proud of their accomplishments.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to come and visit.
Pawtucket, Rhode Island is America's second largest new immigrant community after Roxbury, Massachusetts. To accommodate the large number of new arrivals, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Providence opened a new parish, Immaculate Heart of Mary. At Tolman High School, warm greetings are extended to President Pereira and his wife by the new and old Cape Verdean communities.
Seja bem-vindo à nossa América. Anjos da guarda que te acompanha, Senhor Presidente, Espírito Santo que te bem iluminar. Anjos de guiar, que te bem guiar. Cada passada que eu te defendo. Viva Cabo Verde! Viva América! Viva América! Viva Cabo
Verde! President Pereira returns to Massachusetts and the city of New Bedford, the spiritual heart of Cape Verdean culture and home of the first institutions of Cape Verdean American life. In 1916, these men started the Cape Verdean Beneficent Association, the first Cape Verdean American fraternal organization. The Cape Verdean Ultramarine Band Club, formed in 1917, continues as a popular addition to festivities and celebrations throughout New England's Cape Verdean communities.
Detail, head, gun, right shoulder, hold!
The Honor Guard of the only Cape Verdean American Veterans Association in America welcomes President Pereira to New Bedford. He places a memorial wreath on the monument to Cape Verdean American soldiers. Established in 1946, the Cape Verdean Vets and the Ladies Auxiliary are major sponsors of patriotic, educational, and charitable activities in Greater New Bedford. Members of the Cape Verdean Women's Social Club, representing the islands of Cape Verde, join Cape Verdean seniors and members of community organizations in welcoming the presidential delegation. From Acushnet Avenue, the heart of New Bedford's Cape Verdean neighborhood, the people have continued the proud traditions of mutual assistance for the community and islands for over 150 years. Other Cape Verdean landmarks include a public school named for respected lawyer and community leader Alfred J. Gomes, and Our Lady of the Assumption Church, the first national parish outside Cape Verde. New Bedford is a fitting home for the Ernestina, queen of the Cape Verdean packet trade, now docked in the harbor. The Ernestina was first launched in 1894 as the F.E.M. Morrissey in Essex, Massachusetts. She served 3 decades as a Grand Banks fishing schooner. The Morrissey was refitted under Captain Bob Bartlett in 1924 and embarked on 20 years of famous Arctic expeditions. In the United States, a gift from the people of Cape Verde to America. Mayor Brian Lawler accompanies President Pereira on his visit to the historic vessel. The president is greeted by the ship's captain, Dan Moreland, and Laura Pyers from Friends of the Ernestina Morrissey Committee.
But thank you very much for coming aboard again.
Uma fotografia de Ernestina quando chegou a Newport, ano passado, dos amigos de Ernestina Morrissey. Muito obrigado.
The Ernestina is now being readied for her 4th seafaring career as a sailing school and floating heritage state park, celebrating Massachusetts history by the Commonwealth Schooner Ernestina Commission and the Department of Environmental Management. In her new role, she will be used for educational, cultural, and community development. Sitting on top of Johnny Cake Hill in the historic district of New Bedford, the Whaling Museum is the site of a reception commemorating another important era of Cape Verdean maritime history. Community historian Manuel Costa talks about the early Cape Verdean whalers.
This reception in the Whaling Museum.
For the young Cape Verdeans and old-timers, President Pereira's New Bedford Zeiterion Theater, President Pereira presents his major address to the New England Cape Verdean community. Community Representative Mary Barros introduces President Pereira.
Your Excellency, it is with much pleasure and joy that in the name of the Cape Verdean community, I welcome you. We congratulate you, Mr. President, for the manner in which you have governed Cape Verde, and we know that you have been the guiding light through many dark nights of Cape Verde. Viva Presidente Aristides! Viva Cape Verde! Viva Presidente Aristides! Viva Cape Verde!
Durante mais de 150 anos, essas simples palavras, New Bedford.
For more than 150 years, the very words New Bedford have had a special significance for the people of Cape Verde. Long ago, these two words came to be a metaphor for hope in difficult times and a reason for believing that in our distant islands we are never really alone. So many times we could count on New Bedford when we could not rely on the colonial government. Since the beginning of the 18th century, thousands of ships have crossed our horizons. None were more welcome than the ships of New Bedford and Providence. Whenever one of these ships arrived in Bravo Fogo, San Vicente, or one of the other islands, it always seems to arrive just in time to satisfy a need or fulfill a dream. Our admiration and our pride are all the more justified by the love that the Cape Verdean community has demonstrated towards its country of origin, by the attachment to our cultural values, carefully preserved from generation to generation, guaranteeing the continuation of the Cape Verdean soul, our language, our music, our identity in this magnificent America.
Vamos caver, tá dando lembrança. O que não volta para trás, ele dá carinho.